Danger! The following episode contains flammable material. Maintain a safe distance and keep an extinguisher on hand at all times. The Fireworks Brigade is now online.
Here are your hosts, Johnny Starr and
This is John Waldbaum.
Hello.
there you go.
Yeah, well, I keep hitting the red little microphone and nothing's happening, and I keep pressing it, nothing's happening, and then finally it said, "Would you like to get unmuted?" I go, "Yeah." Unbelievable. What's up?
What's up, man?
Uh,
Episode 195. We're almost there.
we're almost there. Woo! I like it already.
Yeah. Well, how are things in Fargo? A couple of weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks out from the 4th.
Not much has changed. Things about the same, I guess.
Yeah.
Weather's been now it dropped down. The weather's been really chilly out, but
Yeah. It's chilly here today. I got a
Yeah.
flannel on.
I know yesterday was warm there, but I knew you guys were gonna get our weather today. But yeah, yesterday here was cold, and you guys were still warm yesterday, but then it just dropped. Yeah, no, everything's going pretty good here. Got Riley said he's got something for me, and then he went in his pocket, and I thought it was going to be the usual when you go in your pocket and you just pull out your finger, but it
Right.
wasn't. So he pulled out his phone, and wow, what a cool song about the big man he's got. Nice country song.
Riley's
Boy.
got a country song about you.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you, the lyrics are, you couldn't ask for better lyrics.
What is it? Did he make it professionally, or how did he sing it? What is it?
Well, I'm sure it's all AI generated, but boy, it sounds great. I can't wait. I told him we're gonna be playing that on the picker every day, over and over, because I'm a narcissist.
There you go. That's what you need. You need
Yeah.
something to listen to on the picker.
Oh yeah, I think you're gonna like the word so much you're gonna want to copy this as your own. I think. I don't know. It's very good. I have
There
to
you
say.
go.
Boy,
So
this AI.
how are things going if you compare it to like years prior? I mean, I know it's still probably early to tell, but you think how's it doing compared to prior years?
I don't know. You're more the records guy and keep track of that stuff. But so far, it seems right on track. I don't see it any busier. I do see um, people's budgets going up as far as their buying
That's good.
habits. A guy said, raise me up another 500. And this one says, yeah, you know what, raise me up 2,500. So I do see some of the orders are going up for for their shows. It seems on the more on the retail level, obviously.
Right.
Wholesale level, I don't know. I think if things start to pop, we're gonna just. I think we're gonna be. I think we're gonna be buried in wholesale all the way to the end. I think it's gonna be July 1st. We're gonna be, pulling orders and people picking up. I just think it's gonna keep on going because if the sales get good, I think people will just be coming back because I think they all underbought is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
It seems like that to me, anyways. We don't know what they had last year. We don't
Right.
know all those things, but it just seems like the orders coming in have been lower instead of bigger.
It's interesting you say that because I mean, when I'm there, I'm usually, just there for the retail side, obviously. I mean, I know enough
Yeah.
about the wholesale to be dangerous, but I do know that there's it varies greatly. Some years I feel early on, in my stay, like by June 28th or 29th, your warehouse guys are looking for stuff to do, right? They're power washing, they're counting inventory to get ready for the year end, or they're getting ready for PGI, they're doing whatever. But then there's other years where there's trucks coming in and trucks going out, and they're busy like until the first, second, and third. So you think this
Yeah.
year the warehouse is going to be busier because people have underbought so far?
Yeah, I think so. Like right now, we're at a lull. We got one. We're waiting on a big order to come in, and I don't know why they're of course, we're gonna get it in probably tomorrow when there's a container coming in and all kinds of other stuff and back orders to do. But nonetheless, I think we're in a lull right now. I thought maybe there'd be more wholesalers coming in yesterday, like there was last Saturday, where they just pull up with a trailer and like, hey, I need to load up, but it wasn't that way. So we'll see what happens. But I don't know. We're starting to get some reorders, but like I say, it's really too early to tell.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we'll just see what happens. But I think we are going to be busy. Obviously with our own stores, we're going to be busy, but also hopefully other places will run out and reorder.
Have people, do you think there's any anticipation or excitement about the 250, the birthday bash and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think so. In fact, they had it on one of the commercials. I emailed our guy right away and said, "Hey, gotta take that off," But until later. But yeah, I think, and I've been telling a few people too about it. So I think the whole birthday bash and
No,
America's
yeah,
two
I'm just
fifties.
talking about, the
Yeah, the
250
hype. Yeah, the
any,
hype
yeah,
around the
yeah,
250.
yeah.
I think it's going pretty good. I mean, I think people are excited about it, I think. And the the retailers the retailers seem to be more excited about it, but but they're still like in limbo. Is gas prices too high? Are people going to buy? You know,
Well, you got
but
to show them that sheet we did a few weeks ago where the
well,
gas
yeah, and
prices correlate.
I
Yeah.
did, and I remember that because me and Dino talked about that back then, so I knew that for a fact. So yeah, I think everyone's kind of excited about it. I'm just trying to. To me, I don't know if there's as much hype as I thought there would be. I don't know. I get mixed emotions on it.
Well, tonight's the big night. Do you know what's tonight?
Is it the UFC fight?
Yeah, the UFC fight at the
Yeah.
White House lawn.
So I thought that was going to be on July 4th,
It's
but
tonight.
they changed it tonight. Yeah, and
Yeah, I don't know if they changed it or it was always going to be tonight. It's weird. It's on a Sunday, but it's tonight.
yeah,
You guys
that's
got to
going to
go
be.
watch it.
Yeah, that's going to be. Yeah, what time is that? Do you know?
I could tell you in a minute, or yeah, I can Google it. I don't know, but
Okay.
yeah, but you
Well,
should.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure you guys will want to watch. I'm sure Oscar and
I
you know,
definitely want. I love UFC, so I definitely know I want to watch it.
yeah.
But if it's too early, I don't think I will be able to.
Says it's at says it's at 8 Eastern time.
So that's 7 o'clock our time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 7 p.m. Yeah. White House lawn. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, is it going to be telecasted all over, or?
I think so. I mean, any bar you go to should have it. It's on Paramount Plus, which is weird, but I
Yeah.
don't know. You'll be able to find it.
I'm gonna do. I'll probably do Buffalo Wild Wings for that, anyways.
Oh, absolutely. They should have it. You
Yeah,
know
they
what's
should
weird?
have it.
You know what's weird? Not to get off on a tangent, but I noticed on my TV, my Xfinity, we have cable, right? Obviously, an Xfinity, and they stopped carrying. All of a sudden, the NFL network was gone, and I'm like, "Oh, what the heck is that?" And I
Hmm.
guess it's funny these billionaires can't figure out how to split up the money, but so now nobody on Xfinity has NFL Network, and then I read something that um, the uh, the NFL is basically, before there was a Sunday ticket where you could watch any game, and that's what the bars would use. And it was still cost money, but it was manageable, and you needed to get the rights to show the games. And now the NFL like owns the service that's going to broadcast the games to all these, to have the rights to all the games. And like a normal little bar, neighborhood bar, if they want to show games that aren't in their area, it's gonna cost them like 40 or $50,000 just to put the equipment in there. And it's just ridiculous. How much money? I mean, the idea of promoting your sport by letting people watch it is just it's ridiculous because there's all these streaming services. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know it's nuts. The very thing that they wanted in the beginning was to be broadcasted and watched, and
Right.
now you get so lucky to have such a interesting group following you and want to watch the games,
Right.
and now you want to charge them to do it. It just,
Right.
it goes
And
back
now
to my
they,
theory. Uline charges $25 to pick up your merchandise. I wish I could do that.
right.
You
Yes.
know?
Cause they can, now they want
Yeah,
all the money, but
yeah.
anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But, prices, how have your prices been? I know you said sales are up, but prices have remained
Remain the
consistent from
same.
last year.
Yeah, pretty much. New product coming in, obviously. Some prices have changed on that, being down a little bit. We dollar cost averaged everything during the whole tariff thing, so we didn't really have those highly inflated prices on the retail floor to begin with. So pretty much pricing is stayed the same as last year, and items that came in have been adjusted. So yeah, our prices, from what I understand, our prices are very reasonable compared to customer that came in here and he had his whole list. He was here for like 2 hours. Like, wow, he
Good.
goes,
Good.
yeah. So that worked out good. Yeah. Which
Good.
you're
Good.
glad to hear. I always tell people, hey, look, you're not going to be, it could be any grocery store, anything. We're not going to be the cheapest on everything. We're not going to be most expensive on everything. Everyone's got their, some of their products, and who knows what a loss leader is or whatever. So, we got couple, specials going to be going on for retail week. And, I have a bunch of items coming in that, obviously I want to blow them out. I don't want to sit on them, so I want to get rid of some stuff. So yeah, we got some specials and all that, but the prices seem very, pretty good.
At the end of the day, anybody comes to Star Fireworks, they know they can get a value, and they know they get the biggest selection of the most different types of products, right? And
Yeah.
that's what you shoot for. And let's not forget your well-known novelty aisle,
Yeah.
which anyone wants to see your novelty aisle, they can go back to the dealer pre-show we did in May, early May.
Mhm.
You and I, toured the novelty aisle. It's all there. So,
Yeah. And then,
um,
having a no dud guarantee, that, that's
yeah,
a big thing today when prices are high. Something that nobody offered years ago. You got a dud, and you're like, oh well, and you complain, but you didn't come back to the store. Where our customers know they can come back, they don't have to rush back on the fifth. They can come back whatever time, and they're going to get a gift card if they don't want another item for next year. And so that helps. I think that makes a lot of people rest easy when they walk out here and they spend some money. They realize that, hey, if it doesn't work, Johnny's going to make it right.
yeah, you're not going anywhere.
No, exactly.
I always like that the people who come in on the fifth or the sixth trying to get deals from you. I was like, I mean,
Yeah,
you're always willing to work with people, but at the end of the day, you're there
yeah,
365 days a year. So
yeah. Oh, is it after the 4th? I didn't realize
yeah.
it.
Oh man,
Let me check my calendar.
I got a couple of news stories. You got time for a couple of small
Yeah, let's
stories here?
do it. Yeah, of
We
course.
got Disney parks prepare to cut fireworks for the entire summer. Two Disney
Really?
parks, yeah, well, but it's only in Japan though. So two Disney
Oh,
parks will cut their fireworks for the entire summer. Disney's relationship with fireworks goes back to like the 1950s, right?
yeah.
But here, let's see. Beginning June 15th, a pair of Disney parks will suspend their regular fireworks program for 3 months. The closure will remain in effect through September 14th before returning briefly, then disappearing again from September 25th through November 27th. The result is that guests will spend much of the remainder of 2026 without access to standard nighttime fireworks. The affected parks are Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea, where Sky Full of Colors is scheduled to go dark after June 14th. I guess
Wow.
this is something that they do. It's part of their calendar for returning. They're part of their calendar year. They
Hmm.
historically pause fireworks during the summer months, although they haven't really publicly confirmed the specific reason. You think it's just for a burn ban or something in the hot months? I
Yeah, I
haven't
was
been. I've never
wondering
been to
that.
Japan. You've been to Japan,
Yeah,
but
I've been to Japan. I was wondering about that. I wonder if it's, but seeing that they didn't do it seeing that they didn't do it last year, maybe because it does get hot. Maybe it's just and they're open all year long, right?
right.
So maybe the attendance is just down a lot in the summertime where they feel why waste the extra money. I never heard of it being because of dryness or burn ban.
Yeah, and obviously Japan, 4th of July is just another day on the calendar.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
people, they might want to, there'll be fireworks in December, in the December months. But
yeah,
they said Reach for the Stars, which will replace it. It's a projection mapping spectacular. And they say here that it didn't exactly wow Tokyo Disneyland Resort regulars. So if you're going to Tokyo Disneyland and you want to see fireworks,
yeah.
you're not
Not
going to
gonna
see
see
it.
it.
Yeah.
You know what I found out about Disneyland, which I didn't know yesterday, were they during the COVID and all that, then they or right shortly after COVID, I forgot, but they put this policy in place where you had to make a reservation to come to the park, so they knew
Oh,
exactly how to staff the park and how exactly to many people they needed, how they're going to run the rides because they knew exactly how many people were going to come that day.
right.
Uh, and they kept that in place. And I guess just about I heard like a month ago or something, they finally you don't have to make a reservation to come to the park. And I never knew that. I didn't realize that. But I guess
Yeah.
all the buying tickets online, that's was basically a reservation. You're not going to just walk in and buy a ticket. So,
Yeah.
but I guess they opened up now where you can just go to Disneyland and buy a ticket.
I've never been to Disneyland. Have you?
Is that the one in Florida or the one in California? I
And
get it
one in
mixed up.
California.
Yeah, so Disney World. Yeah, Disney World in Florida. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, talking
Oh,
about
okay. Yeah.
Disney.
I've been to
Yeah,
Disney
Disney World in
World. I've never
Florida.
been to Disneyland.
Yeah, they've had this reservation thing in practice for a few years, and it's kind of gave them a better idea how to staff the park. There's not more staff than needed and stuff. They run a pretty tight ship, I will say that.
Yeah.
But the reason I say that is because, boy, it's just getting increasingly hard to work with some people these days. I'll be honest with you.
Well,
So I said to myself, I don't even know how a company like Disney World, who used to be like a famous place, kids would love to work there. You know what I mean?
right.
They were so proud. I mean, you talk to anyone in Florida, they all work, anyone in Orlando basically works for Disney World. I mean, so, and that's what I was wondering is like, they got to have double the staff to do the staff. They have to have double the staff to do the job that they probably did 10 years ago with half the staff.
So you're saying this is an indictment on the way that the kids work these days?
Unbelievable. It's not even normal.
I think we're just going to name the podcast that Unbelievable.
I just you can't. I don't know what the answer is. You if you tell them how to do it or what to do, they say they know because of the redundancy. They know this job. They know they're doing it right. When there's a mistake, you say, "Well, there's a mistake. How'd this happen?" Well, mistakes happen. But you just got done telling me previously that they don't because the redundancy makes it easy for you. And it's never that guy, it's never anybody. It's always we don't know.
Right.
So now we have people signing the pull sheets so we can say, okay, well, for the guy who doesn't make a mistake, I guess you made another one.
Right.
But if you call them out on a mistake, they're mad. So I guess basically, I don't know. So basically, I guess what I would do as a business owner, and I know I wouldn't want this done to me, and I certainly would not do it. But so if I can't call you out on a mistake, so we can learn from the mistake, and that's the only reason I call you out on it is so we can, hey, and I tell people, nobody's getting fired, but we need to learn from our mistakes.
So we
But
don't do them again.
so we don't do them again, and
That's
you know, if you tell them, how much money this cost me, because of this mistake, this always cost me money, so if
right.
I sound a little upset, I should be upset because it cost me money. But when you tell them that, then they get more mad, like, oh, well, that's all you worry about is money, or, well, I mean, mistakes happen. So I guess the other alternative is hey, you guys made a mistake, huh? Yeah. Oh, geez, that's too bad. Oh, well, that's okay. And then when they get their paycheck, just deduct the mistake out of their paycheck.
Right.
And
Well,
then maybe then they will want to talk to me about their mistake. See, like
right.
they're
Yeah. Yeah. Then they have a
like
reason to
I
talk about
can't talk to them, and I see this pallet. I'm like, well, I can't say nothing because you guys know what you're doing. I mean, obviously, and I look at it, kind of smirk and laugh a little bit. I don't see what's funny about it, but God forbid I say something. So, but obviously, I would not deduct anybody's pay because
it. Right.
that's.
But
But
conversely,
but
if somebody came to you with an idea to make more money, you would give them a bonus.
yeah, and the problem is they don't ever. They only want to complain about their cumulative stress. One guy mentioned they only want to
He actually said the
complain
word cumulative stress.
cumulative stress.
Wow.
And then I just walked away and shook my head. I just walked back to and think, geez, I don't know what kind of medicine you're on, but you need more of it, I guess. I don't know, but um, I just
Uh,
it's just getting, you know what? It's just not fun. I've talked
that's
to
funny.
everybody, and they're all in the same boat. It's not fun anymore when there's no urgency, there's no nothing, and yeah, oh well, okay, and then I'm gonna go for lunch. If you saw the atmosphere around here, you would think it was December or maybe February instead of June. So
Yeah.
then you'll see. And
It's
then
funny. I must be clairvoyant. I have a little excerpt from a book that I was going to read to you, and it's going to fit right in with what we just talked about. So let's put a pin in that for like 10
yeah.
minutes from now. But we got one more news story. River
Yeah.
closures. This is right up your alley because it involves fireworks and boats.
Oh,
So
nice.
river closure for DC's massive fireworks show may sink July 4th boating business. This year's expanded fireworks show could shut out kayakers and boaters. DC's big July 4th fireworks boom this year could be a bust for boaters who are bracing for unprecedented waterway closures tied to the nation's 250th birthday celebration. Big picture, Trump allies want to set a record. We've talked about that. World's
Mhm.
biggest fireworks show, breaking from DC tradition with a later start time, 9:40, running twice as long, 40 minutes, and
Wow.
featuring
Awesome.
fireworks launched from the Potomac River. While an
Nice.
official closure map or timeline has yet to be released, riverboat operators say the uncertainty itself is creating problems. Early planning documents obtained by Axios show fireworks launching from 8 barges on the Potomac, starting from just west Potomac Park, and then go through by Roosevelt Bridges. Why it matters: having the river closed for July 4th is a boat world equivalent of Tyson's being closed on Black Friday. That they're basically saying it's like closing Nordstrom on a Friday.
Mm.
The closures can mean tens of thousands of dollars in lost revenue for riverboat based operations, and they also could disrupt the cherished July 4 tradition for thousands of DC area boaters, kayakers, and paddlers. They're estimating that about 1,500 boats typically gather near the Memorial Bridge to watch the fireworks. So obviously, if the bridge is closed or if the fireworks, it's gonna be a problem.
Okay,
So
but so they would gather near the Memorial Bridge to watch the
right,
fireworks, right?
right,
So now I would imagine the fireworks show's bigger, so you're gonna have to gather a little further down the river
right.
because we're gonna have a section of it closed. Um, but I don't see how. Yeah, if the show is bigger, you're still going to be able to see it from where you're at,
And it's gonna be much better.
and it's going to be much better. But at no matter when they have a fireworks show, I'm sure there's a section of the Potomac River closed all the time. I would
Well,
imagine.
yeah, they'll adapt, right? But this sounds like more of this cumulative stress you're talking about, right? It's just
Yeah,
like, hey, oh, you're stressing us out. We can't kayak. Well, you know what? We're putting on a 40-minute fireworks show, paying
yeah.
double, and it's the nation's 250. You can adapt for 1 year. So
And just like in Chicago, if the show gets bigger, they raft off the barges, and then there's an area around the barges that you can go to.
Right.
But you can go beyond that line and sit there, but you just can't come closer to barges. Now, if they put more barges out there, then that perimeter is going to get wider. But at some point, you can still go to the perimeter. I mean,
Right.
but yeah.
It's
So once
the
again, I think these guys are not really fireworks lovers. They're just more worried about, and then I'm sure that closure is going to be just like any other closure, a road closure. It's only from a certain
right.
time to a certain time. I mean,
It looks here that they're saying that really the biggest frustration has been there's been lack of transparency. So
yeah,
these people want to know and be able to plan, and they're not getting it. And but at the end of so they're talking more about the fireworks here. And you and I have talked about this before, but basically their quote is it's the Super Bowl of the summer. Over 50 trucks will bring in, and I don't know how they know this number, 860,754 fireworks.
mm-hmm.
That's Pyrotechnico, which you've heard of, but we
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know them. That's the ones that are going to do this. They're saying it's not only a once in a lifetime generation patriotic spectacle, but a landmark moment in fireworks history.
yeah.
Supersized show expected to feature Trump, led the Secret Service to designate 4th of July a national security event. Yeah, so it's just going to be trickier. That's all. You'll figure it out, right?
Yeah, once again, we got to hear the kayaker tree hugger complain that I can kayak the Potomac River between 9:40 at night, and as a boater, I really don't want to see a kayaker on the water at night because we can't see them. I don't know if they're
Right.
aware of that or not, but when we're 30 feet in the air and they are 6 inches above the water line, a little tough to see,
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
maybe
I
I'll
agree.
just maybe I'll just go out more during the day, and watch the fireworks at night from the bridge like anybody else does. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once
Let's
again, we got
yeah.
to cater to everybody.
Well, yeah. You know what though, but I think about that all the time because I'm like, but did my father and your father think the same way about us? You know.
I don't think so. As we were like shoveling concrete in a wheelbarrow for them at 12.
Yeah, but like at least we had shovels. They were probably doing it by hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every generation thinks the next generation is soft, but I get it. I agree with you 100%. But
The funny thing is, if we didn't work, our parents would think we were soft. So we did work. This generation of parents say, "Don't work. We know you're soft."
well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, and that's
I
so
guess they're just happy with the soft children because then they can control them. I guess I don't
we could have a
understand
whole
it.
conversation about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
they give, but meanwhile, I get all the soft children to work with, and I never wanted kids. This is the problem. This is a big problem.
all right. All right, let's do a little vendor spotlight. Last time we talked about who do we talk about? Fishermen.
Yes.
This time, let's talk about Honey Boom.
Okay, Honey Boom. Yes, Honey Boom. Kind of a new company. Great people to work with so far. They did a lot of my smoke cakes for me,
Okay. So they're
and with
known
the
for that?
Um, yeah, pretty much. I mean, they had a nice variety and some good effects, and so I decided to do a purchase from them, and they did most of my smoke cakes, and they did a couple novelties for me as well. But I was going after that daytime kind of, dusk time aerial devices that kind of break with smoke. Not only just not really a smoke trail, but they actually break with smoke. And they, as you saw at the dealer show, I think they turned out really pretty good.
Yeah.
And yeah, great. So
Yeah.
far, a good company to work with.
So
Family owned.
it's Grayson Hugh,
Yes.
happyfireworks.com. I'll just read a little bit of what I got about Honey Boom. They're exciting new face of Lou Young Happy Fireworks. So Happy Fireworks is like their parent company.
No, that's like their brand name.
The brand name, okay. A premier manufacturer since 1986. They've already lit up the skies in over 60 countries. Now Honey Boom is bringing that world-class experience to the U.S., combining their 40-year legacy of safety and precision with a sleek, modern aesthetic get ready for something truly different. It was founded again in 86, 3 high-class fireworks and firecrackers factories in Luoyang. They state that this allows them to control price, quality, and delivery time. Throughout Happy's several brands, they offer a full range of fireworks, including 1.4, 1.3. Then they employ over 40 people. That sound about right?
Yeah, that's about right, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know
Um,
what time. I didn't know how long ago they started, but back then, don't forget, they were factories and working with brokers. Working with Hong Kong brokers. Back in
right.
those days. So we wouldn't know anything about anything until, my case, 1999, 2000. So just like a lot of those firework company names, they've been around for years. They only might have been in the Class C United States market maybe the last 10, 15 years, but they've been in business since the 80s, 70s,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
before that, we just didn't know them.
So yeah, but this is so it's not really new, but it's new to you, right? So
New to
this
us,
is
yeah.
this, yeah. So some of the fireworks that you have from them, you have Blue Night, which I don't think I've ever seen. Again, these are all new, so I wouldn't have seen them. Take
Yep.
Charge,
Yep.
Trump Again. There's one called Wizard.
Yep.
These are all see, all you have is here is 500 and 200 gram cake. So
Yeah.
Falcon Rising, Neon Jungle, which we did at the dealer show, that was spectacular.
Yep.
That's a 205 shot, 500 gram repeater. That's like a finale cake.
Yeah, that's really cool cake. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Old Smoky, Daytime Smoke, Shoot to Thrill. Is that a smoke one as well?
No, that's not a smoke one. Shoot to
All right.
thrill.
Sky Battle.
Mm-hmm.
And then these last 3 are all smoke cakes. Smoke Out, Smoke Screen, Smoke Shooter Boy, Smoke Shooter Girl. That's for the gender reveal stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, it's well, when I get out there, we'll have to take some videos of some Honey Boom stuff.
Yeah, we'll shoot some shows and shoot some items and see how they
Yeah,
perform.
yeah. All right. So, and let's get back to your whole managing people thing or whatever. So, I'm going to show you this. Can you see that? Streetwise.
Streetwise, there you go.
All right. So,
Mm-hmm.
getting to and through Goldman Sachs, Lloyd Blankfein. So he was a CEO of Goldman Sachs. Smart
Mm-hmm.
guy, made a lot of money. Goldman Sachs is an investment bank, right?
Yep.
Whatever. But I read this page here. He's, and Goldman Sachs is like the gold standard of banking, right? So people, they want to work at Goldman Sachs. If not, just obviously you make a lot of money, but they like the prestige of it, right? So Goldman Sachs is like one of the most prestigious, investment banks. Like Hank Paulson, the guy who was this Treasury Secretary, he was the CEO before this
Yeah.
guy. So a lot of famous people have worked at Goldman Sachs in the finance industry. But
Kind of like the Harvard of colleges.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People who work for Goldman Sachs, they go, and in fact, Goldman Sachs was very, um, crucial during the whole 2008, the real estate bubble. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I was reading this guy is a manager. He manages people obviously, but he started off lower and then he made his way up. But he talks a lot about management styles, a lot about different investment vehicles. If anyone's interested in different investment vehicles, this book is right for you. But anyway, I thought this kind of made me think of you. So here he's talking about managing style. So he says here, a manager's most important job is to get the best out of his or her reports while assessing whether to replace any of them with someone else who might have more to give. The book on a lot of failed managers who can't create a good team culture is that they can deal only with smart people or don't suffer fools. I've always hated that expression. If you are the smartest person in the room, everyone around you is dumb by comparison. If you can't work with someone who isn't as smart as you, you should assume it's your problem to fix, not theirs. What do you think about
Mhm.
that?
I agree, 100%.
Do you agree? So if you feel someone's not as smart as you got to figure out how to get through to this person.
Yeah, well, and that's the key. And I always, I say the same thing in a different way. You know, yes, is it really a bad student or a bad teacher?
Right. Right. Exactly. saying
Some
here he
people
said,
are easy to train, some people aren't. So you have to work with them, or you have to you need to work together.
yeah. So here he says, I think I was able to rise at Goldman Sachs because I got better at managing down and not managing up.
Mhm.
Managing down means recognize an implied contract. People who work for you should get the credit, and you, as their boss, should take whatever blame gets meted out. There's an old aphorism that the captain can do every job on the ship, probably no longer true in the nuclear navy. It certainly wasn't true in my world of complex finance and global markets. So basically, he's saying he doesn't know how to do everything, but he needs the people that know how to do it.
Yeah.
Uh, I've been in sales, I've been dabbling in trading, and had a good and evolving sense for risk management. I was a quick learner, but I didn't have the quantitative training to be a great trader in the modern era. I needed the people who did have the background to give me their best and to make it easy for me to understand their specialties. If they were going to do that, they had to know that I'd appreciate their good work and return the favor. That sounds, I've heard you say that many times. One of the reasons why you got Oscar there is Oscar knows all the computer stuff and all that. So one of the reasons why I come out to help you is, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? You know the people that can, help you, and you put them in the place to succeed, right?
Yeah. And I had this conversation with a friend years ago, and he just told me how smart he was and um how successful he was, and he certainly is. And he worked for a big accounting firm, and he was just so good at his job. It was easy for him to excel because he's just much way better than everybody else working there. And he said, but I took the easy way out. I should open up my own business and I probably would have made a lot more money. But, I took the easy way out. And I said, no, I don't think you took the easy way out. I go, it's not easy working for somebody. And
No,
you got to be on time. I mean, you have to perform. You got to worry about getting fired. There's a lot of stress involved working for somebody. And and I told him, I says, you make a lot of money because you're very good at what you do, as you should be, because you have one job to do. And I said, you might not have been so successful in your own business because if you're a micromanager in your business, it'll drive you crazy because you may be the smartest guy, but if you can't do everything. You can't know everything in the company. I said, where my ability and your ability has to go to as a business owners, we have to find the right people to do these jobs to make our life easier and then to teach us a better system, a more efficient system of how to
right,
do things.
right.
So I rely on my warehouse workers, even though I'm in the warehouse, I rely on them for different new ideas. I rely on guys like Oscar for new ideas in the office. Hey, what do we need to do? As a business owner, I got to worry about the whole wheel, just not a spoke. But as a worker, if you're got a job to do, there's two ways to do a job: poor or good. Just do a good job. Why,
Right.
And if you can't do the same job every day and excel at it, then something's wrong with you. You might not like it or you don't care to excel. But I mean, when I worked for Tribune, I had a route every night and I tried to make that route as easy and fast as possible to make it more efficiently. If I didn't do that, then I'm just not doing anything right. I mean, I'm just wasting my own time.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
like a lot of the kids here, guys here, well, I don't know, you're the owner, you tell me. No, you tell me. You're here too. What do you think? What's your take of it,
Right. You have to
But I don't
recognize it.
yeah, but unfortunately, I don't have that quality of people anymore here. They just, huh? Okay, I get it. So yeah, it's no longer the way it was.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I'm
Maybe.
sure this guy's having. I'm sure this guy. See, he's probably at a higher level, so he doesn't even struggle as much. But I'm sure his managers that report to him and those managers are just pulling their hair out.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I
Yeah,
said, Goldman Sachs, they recruit, the top of
yeah,
the top. So,
yeah,
but he manages 40,000 people, right? In
yeah,
in in every, in 50 different countries.
yeah.
So, that's, the buck stops with him. That's pretty
Oh yeah,
impressive. But
yeah,
but it just more talks about how you have to think of things. Because a lot of people who just, like myself included, I work I've always worked for someone, not really for myself. So it's just a whole different mindset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about the things that a business owner worries about. I deal with business owners on a daily basis, but I don't, they have different set of, a different perspective really is what it is.
And also, you have to rely on your people that work, under you kind of bit. You know what I mean? So,
Right. Yeah. Our
uh,
analysts. Yeah.
you know,
I've been pulling
but
my hair out lately.
I was going to ask you now, do you sit on, do you actually have anything to do with the interview process of them people? Are you the one
Once,
doing the interviews for them
nah,
or
not
not
really.
really?
Once in a while, I used to. But the bank I work for has gotten bigger
So
and bigger,
big,
so
yeah.
it's much more formal.
Yeah.
But I've interviewed a few people. I've sat with a few people, and sometimes my perspective is a little skewed because I'm more concentrated. I specialize in real estate, but then when they hire analysts, they want analysts who know how to do everything, not just
Everything,
real
yeah.
estate. So, but if they want to know about real estate, sometimes they'll ask me to sit in and talk to someone, but not that often. But kind of what you're going through now, two of the analysts that we had for years have been promoted or have gone on, which happens to you all the time. They go somewhere
Yeah.
else. And so now we're left with two analysts, and one is somewhat experienced, and the other one not much experience at all. And yeah, and I've been getting frustrated because I know I'm leaving and I know I'm going on vacation, but I know I'm going to have to bring my computer with me. I'm going to have to work from North Dakota because I keep getting promised, hey, we're going to have this for you to read, to review, whatever, and 3 4 days goes by past the deadline and I don't get it. You know what I mean? And I was there Friday, they weren't there,
Yeah.
and then I send an email saying, hey, and then I don't get a response. So am I to think that you're sitting at home working on a Friday? No. You know where I was on Friday? In the office. If you're behind and you promised the guy you report to a report and your staff are behind, wouldn't you show up to the office, right?
Well,
And
that's
get it
what you
done?
would, that's what they used to do. That's called
Yeah.
work ethic. But there's no more work ethic anymore. Now it's just like everybody's like a government worker. Like, yeah, well, I got to go. It's 5. See ya. No, the work
Right.
ethic that one of my good friends and you and I do, and most of all our friends, and all my friends that are business owners, the work ethic is just different. And we
Right.
rather stay late than admit defeat. They would rather
Right.
just admit defeat and go home early because
Right.
there's
Yeah,
more
because
fun at home.
their cumulative stress level is too
Yeah.
high. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, hey, if you got questions, you can't do something, come into my office and we'll do it together. Well,
Yeah.
usually they can't figure out how to word something really is
Yeah.
all it is, or figure out the math.
But let's not wait to the closing hour
Well,
and
right.
say,
And then let's
oh,
not let's not
yeah,
wait until I promise somebody something after I specifically had you in the meeting and you said yes, we'll have it done by Wednesday. Now Wednesday came and went 2 weeks ago and I still don't have an approval. Is it
yeah,
my fault? Yeah, I'm going to get the blame for it with the customer,
yeah.
but I was depending on you and relying on your input into when this would get done. So that's been happening recently, and hopefully we get some, but whatever. At the end of the day, you adapt, but it seems like the young ones aren't really that adaptable.
Well, like I said, either way, I'm gonna stay till 2 or 3 in the morning, whatever it takes, because the 4th of July is always gonna happen on the 4th of July. It's not gonna be the
Yes.
11th of July because you need a mental stress day. It's not gonna change. I need to get it
Right.
done. Either way, I'm going to get it done because it all falls back onto me. And
Right.
that's gonna basically what you're gonna be. It's gonna fall back on you. So you're gonna have to get it done either way
And
because
I've started doing
yeah,
that. I've
yeah,
started doing my own underwriting, and then
yeah,
I'll send it to it, because it's just a bunch of paragraphs of narrative, and I'll do it all, and I'll type it up, and I'll do the graphs and the charts, but I don't know how to put it into the format, right? The whatever
yeah.
format they use, and I'm like, and I'll send it to them like, here, this is the whole thing. Just put it into the
Just put in
format.
a format then. Can you at least do this?
Yeah, can you please do this?
Yeah.
And whatever. I don't
Yeah.
know. So,
Yeah,
but
like I just
that's
said, can you at least put the dish in the dishwasher? Is that
right.
that's all,
Yes.
man. That's how bad it's gotten over here. Okay, so when you take the cup of coffee, can you at least put the cup into the dishwasher? You don't even turn it on, but can you at least put it in there? Instead of piling them in the sink like there's a ghost here that's going to do
You,
it for you.
the bar is so low, you can step right over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
The
man.
bar is so low that I have to go to a bar at night just to sit at. I go to a bar now, and before it used to be 10 people, and now I go to a bar by myself. I sit there and I have a nice glass of wine. I just think about the whole day, and then I go home and I know it's gonna do it all over again. I said that to someone. I don't really think we should have mental stress days at school and all that. I don't think it's really that smart to let a guy with a bunch of mental stress go home and think about it all day long. I think you need to
Right.
keep that man busy,
If you keep yourself occupied, stuff
Yeah.
goes by quick, man, and you realize that it's not so bad. I can get this
Yeah.
done.
I think, a mental stress day where you go home, do nothing, and just think about doing nothing all day and just think about all your stress. And that could, I think in my mind, that could be suicide day. I mean, I don't know if you want to let these people just go home and think about their mental cumulative stress. I don't agree
No.
with that myself. It's like I don't want to drive anymore long distance because all I do is think about my life and I get depressed and then you want to kill yourself. So it's like, no, I'd rather just fly there, do a little
Yeah.
work on the plane, talk to the flight attendant, and you're there in an hour. You have no time to think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's all I got. Nice and
All right.
short. So let's we'll do one more of these before I get out there. And
Okay.
we'll do maybe I like this Sunday morning thing, so maybe we'll do one next Sunday morning. So
Yeah.
but anyway, save my spot. I'll see you guys soon. And anything else you want to talk about before we head off?
Nothing. It seems talk briefly a little bit about production and the containers rolling in. I think everyone, from what I understand, was did pretty good with getting all their product in. Good thing that explosion didn't happen a month or two earlier. That would have really been a disaster for shipping out.
There was an
But
explosion in China.
oh yeah, we talked about it. I
Oh, did
think.
we? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure we talked about it. It was a couple. What was it, about a month ago or something
Oh,
like
okay.
that,
Okay. Yeah,
or
I must forgot.
yeah, I think it happened mid-May. I don't know exact dates because I don't even know what day it is today. But yeah, it happened like mid-May. Huge explosion, killed like 17 people. It's really affected the whole industry as a whole. But if that would have happened a little bit earlier, it actually happened. Yeah, it must happen like May 4th or something like that. May 4th, May 5th, somewhere around there.
Okay.
But for the most part, it seems everyone I talked to have gotten their containers in
Well,
and
good.
things running pretty smooth. So I know we have one left and then we're done. So which I can't wait. So
There you go.
that'll be it for us. But all righty.
All right,
So
man. I'll talk to you later. Have a good
All
night.
righty. Have a good night.
week. Yep.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
All righty. Bye bye.
Nothing to see here.